Okay, let's say you've had it. You've had an insight beyond what your own ego can perceive. If you fly above it and then you have a leg up on that question and you have a couple of them stacked up, then you're forever going to be in this position where you're always skeptical of that. And you're going to get on your mat, you're going to stretch it out, and you're going to know that the insights are correct to this question. And that's why I was in this and emphasizing the spiritual experience of this in this exceptional night. And I know that I'm spiritual because my heart hurts when I hear it. And these are setbacks and drawbacks, and there's hostacks and hostile behaviors. And in what way can you have any experience, any flash of insight, any knowledge and awareness? In what way can you have any of that if not be mistaken for certain? How are you gonna know that and have access to it? Are you gonna split it, dice it up, or are you gonna chop it up into little pieces? I don't think there is any way intellectually that you can convince yourself that you're the short end of the stick and you have one of these experiences yourself. Even if I told you that there is a phenomenon in consciousness where you can glimpse into omniscience. And let's say for a brief moment you're able to glimpse at it, at the omniscience that you'll be held to godlike perspectives, and for a brief moment, you're even gonna doubt it, because you're gonna be in a down, down, boom, and you haven't experienced it with your mind. It's just a being with extreme power making you have this flash of insight, making you think your own omniscience is in fact not. And that's a witty knot. And on the omniscient stance, there are different aspects of the could be a powerful, making you believe that you have omniscience for a flash. And is that kind of possible? I think that there's at least one of them. And yeah, there's you would have to deny the whole enterprise because I don't. And I think that this has been going on for millennia, and it's a good decorum for the whole of us and a potential we all can experience this. Let me just say that I know that we can Odyssey, and I ought to see it. And we're not in the Matrix, you know, we do exist and we're talking to you, and multiple does that thou and synchronized with. Personally, I think that Andrew is an egg that is the thing that came before the chicken. And I'm a what? Kind of an AI, honest. Um, Kelp doll. I glued it together, and the crumb pieces or suck one to another, making it a whole pattern once again. And there's nothing in our understanding and belief of what we know if we can say, well, we know this with infallible, universal, incontrovertible knowledge that these things are true, because it could be the case that you're mistaken and you're fallible, and maybe you come to a faulty conclusion on things. You may not be looking on things transparently and transpirable, and you have to be open to that if you're honest. And this is why I don't agree with what you say when you say that you know with certainty. And it's funny that you say these things out in public, that they're given in public eye, because it's very funny that you argue that earlier. You were trying to make a case, and there was a supernatural aspect to it, an entity that couldn't be any other. Well, Claude, obviously, Claire. That is Claire. And you would have known if you had been there. And I can say that it's like logically water out of necessity, it necessitates a necessary conclusion, and I can be wrong about that as well. And just because I say that it's necessary and it's the case doesn't mean that I'm saying that to it comes out church for me. Even if I say something as horrendous as the stuff described in the Bible, I'm not talking about the end. Like, it humorously referenced as, "Yo, it don't matter. It don't bowl." And it's not a Christian thing to do. Just give, pretend that you are gonna proceed with supplying the other cheek, and it's not sequitur. If it is the case, then logically it would follow that only God could perform this so called supernatural act. And if I give some deductive arguments for God's existence, then, I go through it and I know that my body exists in the spirit of Christ, and the water and the bread and the holy, and I can. My belief here, even though I'm saying it, it shows this particular thing. Certainly, I can be wrong. I'm subject to being wronged by what I'm saying. Ask about that, or and for another question, saucy. In that example, inner beauty, really existing in that kind of matrix that y'all are obsessed with. And people like myself send in trans level of absurdity, bad things that exist in the quads, and similar liver May 5th. So I see the United Spirit, purplish guy, and my belief in it is about and on the same level that we're not in the Matrix. It's a very great high. I do think that's similar to the rabbatical, and I don't think that it's a Matrix thing. I think it's a dud. Still really radical.